Hi and welcome back to my video. If you happen to like it or you like the concept or you want to see more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I started to realize that farming maps wasn't really the thing to be doing for me right now. Uh, the clear speed just wasn't there. So I went back to the Blood Aqueducts while I could still get optimal experience. And I've been farming for maps there. Uh, and I also noticed that the humility card drops. And if you didn't know what the humility card is you go and turn in 9 of them, I believe it is, for a tabula rasa, which is a 6-linked body armor that I've been talking a little bit about recently. And it's a really good budget piece of leveling gear, but I thought that it'd be cool if I could go and farm one myself, and who knows, maybe I can go and drop a Valorb on it and see if I got anything good out of it. Probably not, but what's the worst case scenario? But nonetheless, I was making enough currency quick enough to make it worth my time. I've been getting plenty of chisels though, so I know that those will come in handy later. I know that I had mentioned that I was thinking about getting a 6-link chest, or 6-link in my chest, and I had mentioned that the stats on my plate were pretty good on my ice tomb. This plate is almost perfect. Like, it's 8 points off of being perfect, but there just aren't any builds that like really need it. And as a matter of fact, almost every build has something that's better for it, so it makes it a really good budget item. And I was able to pick this one up for Chaos at the time. So 4 Chaos for a nearly perfect item, like 8 points off of perfect. It's insane. The downside is it doesn't match my late game build. I really don't know if I should go and 6-link it or not. It'd probably take something around like 100 Chaos, like to 6-link the thing. And what I really need is I need an Impulsa. And if you don't know about what an Impulsa is it's a relatively expensive item. They start out around like an Exalt or 100 Chaos, and they go up to anything like 40, 50 Exalts for a good one. And what it does is shocked enemies explode. So that sounds pretty cool, right? And then they deal % life damage to the enemies around them. I think it's something around like 7 or 8%. But still, in a mob of like 50 monsters, that's a bit of damage. So I'm kind of thinking I might go for that one instead. That's going to be a little ways out though. I noticed something kind of funny about the Never Sync filter, which I'm running. It keeps on telling me to pick up 5-socket items, and maybe there's something I'm not understanding, but when I vendor them, I'm only getting 2 scraps of wisdom scrolls. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be picking up any more of those. Kind of waste of time and a waste of inventory space, considering that 5-socket items are always one of the larger items around. So yeah, no more of that. That's just killing efficiency completely. I finally got around to selling that Divine. Currently they're going for 13 Chaos, so that was a little bit of a boost. And I realized that there is a Divine recipe. So you can go and take a 6-linked item and you can go and sell it to a vendor for a Divine Orb. Naturally, I went and scoured the trade site, and I wanted to see if I could track down a few of these. Maybe somebody was selling them for a little bit cheaper. Previously, I'd seen a few 6-linked items for around 10 Chaos, but I just didn't have the means to be able to buy them at the time. So I looked around, and I actually managed to find a few of these, picking up a couple quick and easy Chaos in about 15-20 minutes. But the thing that I noticed is a lot of people like to use the trade site to go and troll. So either that or they were just AFK. But yeah, there were quite a few people who were inactive on the trade site. Tried to get into Tabula Rasa that way after I had sold the Divine. Figured maybe I'd go and get, well, maybe I'd go and get like 10 or 15 levels out of it before it become nearly worthless. But yeah, none of the people listing the Tabula Rasas for 12 and 13 Chaos were at their computer, or maybe they just weren't serious about selling them. Not really sure what the deal is, but after I messaged a few people, I gave up on that. I went back to sweeping. I went back to sweeping the trade site, and I started to think about 6 socket items, not 6 link items, but just 6 socket items. Those are worth 7 Jeweler's Orbs, so I figured maybe there were some people out there selling them for less. And after checking out the conversion rates on currency, I quickly realized that there were often a lot of people selling their 6 socket items for less. It's not a lot of money, so I can message about 15 people in the matter of about a minute, and then in just a few seconds I can go and trade with a couple of people. And even if like 13 people don't respond, still that's a couple of people who will respond. And when people are selling 6 socket items for who knows what reason, for an orb of alteration or maybe an alchemy, there's a little bit of money to be made there. So I did this for a few minutes and I made maybe 5 or 6 chaos off of that. And yeah, I made a little bit of easy money there. In the process of doing this, I realized what some of my currency was worth after checking those exchange rates. I started to go and gather up all the currency that I didn't have any plans to use like in the near future, and I sold a bunch of it off. I checked the currency charts to see whether things were rising or whether things were falling on PoE Ninja, and I sold accordingly. So I sold things that were looking like they were hitting a high point, or things that were relatively stable. I looked at like the opposites of like the way the currency was trading to see if it was a good value, or to see if I should actually be buying something. And after I cross-referenced a bunch of stuff, I figured out what I was going to sell and what I was going to hang on to. After selling a bunch of stuff, I ended up with about 42 chaos, and I actually found another upgrade in the process, so that was a good thing. And yeah, that's kind of where I left off for the day. I started off with 3 chaos, and I ended with 42. Of course, it took me a little while to go and accumulate all of this stuff, but after I'd converted it all into chaos, that is going to make things much easier for me when it comes time to buy stuff like gear. So that's about all that happened. I'm still thinking that I'm going to 6-link this chest armor that I have right now. I want to make sure that I have at least 250 fusings though before I do that. So I still need to come up with just a little bit more money, and I'm hoping that I can do that soon. If you stuck around this long and you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks again. Have a good one.